Hello, I'm Kaylee. This is Kaylee Crossstitch. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody out there. It is February 1st, 2023, and it's been over a month again. Uh, Somebody asked me today on Instagram, where have you been? Did you stop using YouTube? And I said, no, I'm just busy. Not busy, but I work later, so I feel like my Flosstube schedule was impacted from me working later. This is I'm not quite sure how this one's gonna go. Usually people do a whip parade at the beginning of the year, but I have a very sad life update that is just like I'm not gonna do a whip parade. And that update is that we lost Susie, our sweet kitty. So, for those of you who have lost a pet, you know how it is. And for those of you that have not lost a pet or didn't have a house pet and lost a farm pet, maybe you don't know how it is. But yeah, when it's been a week, we lost her last Thursday. Today's Wednesday. And it was very sudden. It was kidney failure. And we knew that her kidneys weren't amazing, but we never really knew if or when it would happen. But it happened suddenly. And it was very hard the first couple days, because it was like I had a week alone because my husband was in North Dakota after we had traveled, and then he got home, and I had noticed it a little bit, but she was kind of weak, like she was kind of wobbly sometimes, and then her eating habits were really weird. So she wasn't eating very much when I was with her by herself, but sometimes that happens to her. Like if we were gone, she would be eating weird because she had just spent a few days by herself or something. So it wasn't abnormal that she wasn't eating the right way, but Dylan got back Monday night, and Tuesday noticed that she was drinking a lot of water, but she was also peeing a lot. And so we called the vet and brought her in, and the vet did the tests, and we found out on Thursday that it was kidney failure. And we decided that we didn't want to remember her in her last days, trying to keep her alive, as opposed to remembering her as she was. So even though she was a little bit weaker at the end, she was still herself. And I tried to go to work the day after, and it was horrible. I'm a teacher, so my job is not the most easy breezy job, and it was really hard. I had to tell the kids what happened because it hit me harder than I thought it would. I was very sad and tearful, and I think it, like, the reason that I mentioned farm cat, if you have a farm cat, then I don't know, it's just a different level of loss. But I've never had a cat or a pet that lives with me in my house and I'm with them every day. And this was my first like that. And Susie was such a snuggly cat. She always was on my lap. If you've watched my Flosstubes, if you've seen any of my lives, you know she's always there. And I told the kids, part of why it's hitting me so hard is that my cat never made me mad. She never made me mad. She always made me happier. And she was always a stress reliever for me. So to not have that was, all of a sudden, was really tough. So we're doing okay. We're going through the stages of grief. It'll hit me every once in a while. Thankfully it happened like on a weekend, and Saturday and Sunday I was still going through it, still sad about it. And of course I still am, but we'll just keep this channel a tribute to her too, because she was, I kept thinking about it, like, since moving to Baltimore, she's been such a big part of my stitching, of me being online, because she would stay with me when I would stream. So I have collected all the things that remind me of her stitching related, and we'll get the sad part out of the way, hopefully. I'm doing better, but emotionally it's just like all over the place. So let me share some things, and I'll show you my projects and stuff. They're sitting over here, but I have other things to talk about too, because I visited my stitchy friend in Portland, a couple of them actually, and so I have stuff to talk about. But first I want to take some time and give a little tribute to Susie. So the first tribute is this necklace charm that I made, and that's the Bent Creek black cat, and then I put a little picture of Susie on the back. And if any of you have received Stitchy Kindness from me or a tiny stitching kit from me, you've seen the Susie floss drops. Like, my floss drops have my cat on them. And everything, everything is Susie. So that's something that I stitched. And I just want to show you all the cat related things that I have. So how about I do this? How about I just show you the stuff that's not from there? And yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, we'll do that after. So I guess the most recent is my friend Laura Chieco, Tarsier Stitches, sent me this cute little keychain. And she finished this herself. She's an excellent finisher, if I do say so myself. And Laura had sent this before Susie passed away, and she messaged me and she said, "Hey, by the way, this is what's in that package that I sent you. If it's too much, don't open it." And I opened it the day after, and it was bad. I mean, it made me sad, but also it made me really happy too. And then Laura also sent, oh boy, that's really washed out, this beautiful sparkly opalescent, it looks like a 40-ish count linen, and then Duchess, which is a Leo and Roxy, and it's a limited edition. So I'm excited to do that. And Laura has a new pattern out that's in celebration of Lunar New Year. You should go check it out. I'll put a link below. And it's the year of the rabbit. So happy Lunar New Year, everybody. But yeah, that's what she sent. Other Stitchy Kindness that people have sent me that is Susie related. And forgive me because I didn't like triple check who these are from. So I've already shown these, but I'm going to show them again. I've gotten this little Snoozy Susie. And this is from somebody who I sent the tiny stitching kit to. Come on, focus. And it's this cute little charm. Susie was always sleepy, wasn't she? She was so cute. There's my little Susie area over here. I put all my stitchy stuff that's related to Susie. This was a charm that broke. I don't know if it was me or somebody else, but it's got a little black cat. I think this is from Christy, Dr. Christy. But there's that. That's for that. My friend Jen from Texas made me little Susie needle minders out of her button making machine. So there's the original picture from my first set of floss straps. And then, oh my god, this one is on my Modern Folk embroidery. Look at that Susie button. There's her two teeth. Oh, if you don't know, if you're new, Susie, we got her when she was 10, and we had a year with her, so she was 11. So she didn't have any teeth. I got these. I think I showed these in my last video, but it was a set of 4 scissors, and I only bought them because I wanted the black ones, because Susie was a black cat. If you want to see any pictures of her and celebrate her life with me, I do have an Instagram page for Susie. You should go follow it. Here's some stitched things that people have sent me. First of all, ooh, you can't even see it. Hang on, this might be a really bad idea. But this little picture is from Ashley's son. He drew it for me. And when she sent Stitchy Kindness, she sent this picture of Susie, drawn by her son. This is also somebody who ordered a tiny stitching kit, but look at that little Susie. Sent this whole thing to me. Like, this is what's so special about receiving stitched pieces from other people, is like, a lot of times there's a lot of thought in them, and that's so sweet. And that's a big cat. That's a lot of stitches. I think Jen from Ohio, is that where you live? Jen Simon did this one, Susie. And Jen has also sent me catnip, homemade catnip. This is her little pirate kitty. Pirate, we wish you a meowy Christmas. She sent me catnip for Susie, and Susie loved it, but I didn't give it all to her, so we still have the catnip. These are ones that I have stitched. I mean, Wonky Cat was pretty much the reason I started with this one, is because it's Susie. She's a wonky cat. She's a black cat. So that's a Miriam at Marumi design. And the crabs one is next for me on this quilting fabric. And this, like, what a memory this is. This is inspired by a hate comment. It wasn't a hate comment, but this person was commenting on my old lives, and they said, all you do is play with your cat. You should do more stitching. So I think this is Jen. I'm sorry for not, like, looking this up. I was just, like, didn't want to go that deep. Because the more, like, the deeper I think about it, the sadder I get about Susie not being here. So, but anyway, this is a 53-63 count linen from Fire Poppies before they went out of business. These are ornament cuts. And I was on a stream and talking about this comment, and somebody just, like, made this pattern. I think it was Jen, but I don't want to be inaccurate. So I just miss my cat, right? A lot of needle minders I've bought because of her, like this. Sorry I'm late. My cat was sitting on me. Like, are you kidding? This is 100% accurate in real life. The first day that I was actually exactly on time, if not a little bit early for work, was the day after she passed away, because Susie would come up on my chest in the morning and just lay there, and I didn't want to disturb her. I wanted to savor every moment. And we really did that. We, like, as we were going through the process and talking about it, we talked about how we really savored every moment with our sweet girl, because we didn't know how long we had with her. She was old. There's this one. Spoiler alert for the whips. Once there was a girl who really loved cats. It was me, the end. With a little black kitty. Sorry, one sec. And I'm getting over a cold, sorry. So I had mucus. And I'm drinking peppermint hot chocolate. It's more peppermint than hot chocolate. I don't know if that's what I want, but... Oh, it's hot. Okay, so I also went to Portland second week of January to visit my friends Stitchy Nati and Michelle and Danielle. And before we went to this store, this is what Nati gave me. Sticker. These little Susie stickers. Isn't that cute? And And then she took us to the store. It was a specifically cat store. Cats. Like, only cat paraphernalia and small local sellers. So we were going to put these on her food timer. This is, ooh, somebody's going to feed me. And this is, why hasn't this timer opened yet? If we were gone, we would put her food in a timer. But we never got to put them on there because they were sitting in my hall and then she passed away. So I never got to put those on there. This one is also from that store and it's a fridge magnet. And I have a picture of Susie that is this. That is this. It's this. Yeah. It's so cute. And then this is the cream of the crop. This is a tiny thing and a Susie thing. Which, it's kind of getting time it's getting time for me to update a lot of stuff on my channel, but I need to do a tiny things update. But here, there's a little Susie. Black cat owners, am I right? Like, they're the best. They're so cute. They're so cute. A little pin. Black cats are good luck. Boy, that looks... Is it really scratched? Kind of is. So that was all from the cat store. And well, also in Portland, we went to Powell's Books, which is this enormous bookstore that sells new and used books. And I got some cool music books. And then also, I couldn't pass this up. A Zen litter box. So that's for the Tiny Things collection. And that's the Susie Tribute. Thank you to everybody who's been messaging. 20 minutes I've talked about my cat. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's fine. Thank you to everybody who's sent messages, who's sent love, who's sent good thoughts and commiserations. I didn't, like I said, I was a farm girl, so I didn't really know like how hard it would hit me, but it hit me really hard, and it's I want another cat. Dylan's not quite there yet, but just that companionship and just having a pet there is really special. So we didn't take her for granted, and we miss her a lot. So yeah, we love you, Susie. Okay, stitching, shall we? Before I actually start bawling my eyes out, because I could right now, because I haven't actually cried about it in a little bit. In a little bit means like 2 days. I decided that from now on, I'm just going to share the document that the spreadsheet that I have for all my whips. And there are links in that spreadsheet. So if you click on the link down below, you'll be a view only of a Google Sheets, which is for me the easiest way to do it. So if you want to see any of my projects or where I bought it or where you can buy it, you'll see that. There's a whips tab, there's a full coverage whips tab, there's a blackwork whips tab, which I need to get going on my blackwork. Plans, maybe, I don't know, whatever plans are. And then I have finishes and stitch count for all the years. So it goes back to 2021 or something. I think I used to have my expenses on here, but I took those off because you don't need to see how much money I spend. So if you want to see any of that, and then the nice thing about Google is that if you can make a copy of anything that's shared with you. So if you want to steal my organization, you can make a copy of this Google Sheets, and you can, I think you should be able to, but you can make your own copy, and if you like the way, or change it however you want. So I'm just gonna go chronologically because it's been a whole month, and girl, I don't know how to like do this anymore. First is Legal High, and I was working on this when I was visiting home, North Dakota. Should I have done my new starts? No, because they were after the new year. And this is a long dog sampler pattern. This still has, maybe I'll work on this a little bit today because it has a needle on it with thread in it. Long dog samplers. This is a 36 count 1/1 with Swasserfine. A green Swasserfine. Look in the document if you want to know exactly what color. And this is an inherited whip from Karen Needlebug. She sent it to me, and I'm happy to continue working on it. I checked my stitch count. I added up all my stitch count from all my stitches from 2022. And, you know, this, I actually thought about it. This isn't like a terribly large number, but I made over 1 million full crosses. That's kind of wild. Like, you know, the Heaven and Earths that are close to 1 million. Like the biggest one that I had was 700,000 stitches or something. And when you think about like what if you would stitch on something monogamously, a full coverage would only take you a year. Okay, Cirque de Ca. Oh, let's just well, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Cirque de Carreau. This is a tiny Caro stitch along with not stitching Nati, and this is in a new bag that I got at Acorns and Threads, partly haul here, and I put this in here because Nati's Sal was in this kind of bag too. So I don't know what my practice is, but this is what it looks like now. 40 count Verdal even weave 1/1 full cross with Gloriana Tudor silk, and the fabric dyer is dyeing for cross stitch, DYEING for cross stitch. Again, all the links to the products and stuff, the websites and stuff are in that spreadsheet. Just go to the whips tab. I was trying to do like a strand a day on this thing, but the pattern is from Ink Circles, if I didn't say that. I was trying to do like a strand a day, and then I kind of fell off. I don't know why. I think that I'm not like, I'm kind of like a focus piece type stitcher. Like I don't have a set schedule. Here, let me get this out of the way. I don't have a set schedule, but like if I'm working on something, I'll like put in a few days on it or something. But then sometimes I get like really squirrel, and I'm like, what's that? This Tudor silk color is seaweed, if you were wondering. Where do all these whips go? Where have all the whips gone? There's a couple that I worked on, but it was like only one day, so I didn't pull them out. While I'm thinking about it, because I didn't put this one on my list, this is New Mexico. And I just put in like one day on this. And this is from Stitches Lovers Shop on Etsy. And this is on 18 count, 2/1 full cross. And I use the sewing method on this because it's soft enough, so I stitch it in hand and it goes pretty quick. And I'm stitching all 50 states, but it's not my top priority to do that. These patterns. Okay. This part of my video I feel like is not very interesting. I mean, what is the interesting part of this video? Do you just like look at the projects? Like for me, it's just whoever I like, I put their video on, and sometimes I find that I'm not even looking at their projects. I just, I'm listening to them talking. Okay, one other whip, and then I have 2 new starts. Is that right? 2 whips. This is Ocean City. The stock photo is a literal printed photo. This is also a cat needle minder. Whoops. Mona Lisa with a cat. Are you kidding? Let me show you what this will look like. And this is to remember my time in Ocean City last summer with my husband. So there was a whole wall of these at Salty Yarns in Ocean City, Maryland. And I liked this one the best because it had a little crab on there. And that's something that we did. We went to the Assateague, it's a national park, is it not? And there were crabs like all over. And I watched them a lot. I should just whip that out, get that finished ASAP. I mean, there's a few of those that I should. Okay, and then last whip is Minnie Amongst the Tulips. Tulips stock. Oh, I have one more that I forgot. Oh, there it is. This is a Heaven and Earth design. Artwork by Alina something G. And here's my progress. This is on a 46 count linen. I think it's prehistoric from Fox and Rabbit, who, by the way, they're so sweet. I tag them on Instagram because I tag like the needle minder, I tag the fabric, sometimes I tag the floss if I'm following them. And they always, you know how when you tag somebody, it like sends them a private message, a DM, and then they can, see that you tagged them. And every time they like talk about my progress. It's so sweet. Like they must be busy, but they still they're like, that's so sweet. It melts my heart every time they comment and they say, wow, it looks great. And this is the what do you call that? The height. Oh my goodness. This is the height of the pattern. That's how tall it is. A, that's what mini heids do for you. And B, that's what 46 count does for you. And this is DMC half stitch. Now, friends, if you want to try a Haid half stitch with one strand, 40 count Verdal even weave is probably the best. Although the coverage, it depends on how many colors you're using. The coverage is pretty good. And the back doesn't get super bulky. This back is quite bulky, but I am carrying threads quite a bit. And it just depends. Like, I think it really depends on the equipment that you're using. Like, if you're using a needle that is small enough, that's really helpful. There's a lot of factors, but yeah. Anyway, so my plan was, there's like skinny pages that I was going to complete. It's like not very big. And then Susie passed away, so I wanted to start working on the cat. I was just like, no. I was practicing self-control. Not self-control, but like I was following the plan, and then she passed away and I was like, no, I'm not following the plan. I need to add some black to this black cat pattern. And what's really cute about this picture is it doesn't really remind me of Susie that much. I mean, I just love black cats. But these two cats remind me of my in-laws' cats, because it's a boy and a girl siblings, and the boy is all black and the girl has this little tuft of white on her chest. So it kind of reminds me of the cats that made me fall in love with black cats. So yeah, that's kind of sweet. Speaking of my in-laws, this little display case they gave me for Christmas, and I guess I should put this in haul, but let me show you what else they bought me. They've bought me some of these before, and I don't know if y'all have seen these, but these are like the world's smallest things. This is a Christmas present, so this is old, but Clue, a little Slinky. Everyone loves a Slinky. Remember Ace Ventura? Oh, and look at that, a little Hot Wheels. This one is my favorite because I had Hot Wheels as a kid. We would play with Hot Wheels. My desk looks different. I love it. Okay. Oh, that's the whip. Oh, Trans Pride. Where is it? Oh, it's in here. It's in my Kaylee bag. My little Kaylee bag. I worked on this on the plane I put in quite a few stitches on the plain to Portland. So this is 40 count half stitch, if you're wondering. This is almond M&Ms, and since you saw it, I believe that I've worked mostly on the unicorn. So this is an almond M&Ms conversion, and then the unicorn is Etoile, DMC Etoile, B7200 or whatever that one is. And I should just get this, I should just finish this up, because I have Lesbian Pride tapestry that I need to get started too. Of course, that's in my plans, Stitch for Pride 2023, and thank you, Dee, for all the work that you are doing for that. Yeah, thank you. And I can't believe I didn't say this at the beginning. Happy Black History Month. February. Do your learning. Learn more. If you think you know everything, learn some more, especially if you're not Black. Like, come on. And especially if you're American. New starts. New starts. I have two. One is I forgot a whip on there. One is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2023 Reaching Skyward Stitch Along. And this I had the honor of starting with Nati. This is a old blue from XJU Design fabric, 46 count, 1/1 with Swasserfine. So Nati and I are both doing this on 46 count. As if one tiny sal wasn't enough, we did two. And we started it together in Acorns and Threads. But I felt really bad because Nati, like, her colors were working, and then her fabric wasn't working with her. So actually, I had brought the other piece of this that I had along with me, and she ended up choosing the Fox and Rabbit to stitch hers on. So go check hers out too. But that's my start. I'm using the alternate border. Jacob, can we have that on Pattern Keeper? Your alternates on Pattern Keeper, please. I like to mark my stitches. I like to know how many stitches I've done. Sometimes that like discourages me from working on a piece. I'm like, oh, I want to know exactly how many stitches. And then I didn't make a screenshot of that on my computer yet. I'm sorry. And then Circular Logic by Ink Circles. This is in participation with the Round Robin that Michelle Bendy is put together. And that's how much I have. So a Round Robin is where 4 people are stitching 4 different patterns. And what inspired it was Ink Circles has a lot of mandalas. And instead of stitching the same thing 4 times, you stitch 4 different things and you stitch on 3 of your fellow cross-stitchers projects. So every 3 months, it's a year-long thing. Every 3 months you send it off. Maybe you want to organize something like that and have like wider participation, because this was just for patrons, but that I feel like that's something a lot of people would be interested in. So this is on 25 count, even weave, 1/1 full cross with 2 almond M&Ms colors. I went for funky. One is brick, and the other is writer's chair. I need to get more of this. This is a really cool variegation. Writer's chair. Okay, let me show you the other whip that I forgot, which is Modern Folk Embroidery 2022 Sal. I did work on Starry Cats, but not enough to like really show you, really have any progress. Oh, this is in the, oops. Well, too bad. You know what it looks like. My goal for this is to keep up with the month that it's in. So I put this in this giant nerd hoop, and I want to just like whip it out. I'm through February. I finished February. So I want to keep up with this year. Because it's beautiful, beautiful thread, isn't it? 32, no, this is 30, yeah, 32 count. 1/1 full cross. Okay. I'm getting tired and I actually want to stitch. So let's get this, get this stuff out of the way. Portland was really fun. I'd never been, and the reason that we went was because we got free vouchers from Southwest. So we flew to Portland for a weekend, for the MLK Day weekend, and it was really cool. We stayed in Old Town, and if you've, okay, I'm going to speak very generally here. If you've never been to a big city, then like, and you go and you're like, oh my goodness, what? And you're kind of shocked by some things. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of history as to why things are the way that they are. Baltimore is a city like that. Portland, in the part that we were staying, there was a very high homeless population, which kind of caught me off guard. And Nathi and I and my husband, we talked about it, and we were just like talking about why it was the way it was. And it's just really, really interesting to think about that, because you have your assumptions as to how a place is going to be, and then it exceeds or doesn't meet your expectations, and like instead of making that a deterrent for me, I like to just like ask why and learn about why it is the way it is. So, I hope everybody does that if they visit somewhere, as opposed to like getting turned off by just because something isn't as attractive as you think it could have been. And not every place was like that, but I think that if you're not willing to understand why the worst parts of a place are the way that they are, then what are you doing trying to have an opinion about a place? You got to talk about the worst parts of a society, of a city, to really address where the issues are. And not everybody's equal until everybody is equal, or taken care of, for that matter. Okay. Anyway, so we went to Powell's the first day we were there. We had lots of good food. We had Thai food that night, and got some music books. And then Saturday we went to Acorns, and I gave myself a budget, and I was actually under budget. So let me show you just real quick the things that I got. So I obviously had to get a bag, Acorns and Threads, and this is nice and stiff, so I think I might end up putting like my fancy fabrics in here, like my hand-dyed fabrics in there. They're already in there. I got, for my fabric, I was pretty indecisive on the fabric, but I got the Lugana that I showed you, the 25 count that Circular Logic is on. I think this must be just a Zweigart or something. This is Angel Blush. Then I got another 25 count Bone. And I think I know what I want to stitch on here, because I started stitching Circular Logic and I was like, 25 count is so much fun. It goes so fast. I think I want to do Nevermore on that. I want to join that Sal, because we got Darcy and what's her face? I don't have excuses. This is not a good excuse. This I loved. Fairy Ring. This is a 28 count linen. Emma X stitching. No. Mary. Daydream Stitcher. I was having a hard time remembering Emma's name, but that's not the person. I know who Mary is and Emma are. Yeah, this is really pretty. I thought about doing Circular Logic on this, but I decided not to. So this is going to be for something else, I guess. And then this one. Oh, shoot. Cherry Vanilla. I didn't look at this dyer. Cherry Vanilla, which if you say cherry, or if you say vanilla, I'm on board. This is huge. 36 count linen. I like 36 count. Isn't that pretty? I love that peachy pink. And then since Nati's so sweet, since I gave her the other half of my 46 count, she let me take a chunk of some of her 40 count Verdal, because she has a great collection of Verdal. This is from a coffee box. I can't remember what dyer it was. I have a picture of it somewhere. Oh, that's very washed out, but it's the very, very light modeling. That's like kind of brown gray. And then look at this. This is Dreamscape, I think it's called. But these are both dyeing for cross stitch. I should get. I need more of that, but I don't because I have not used it. You saw it for a second, right? This is very cotton candy-esque. Okay. Those are the fabrics. The reason that so the floss collection at Acorns is legendary. Like, people talk about it, and yes, it's wonderful. And so many different dyers, and their pattern selection is great. I feel like my LNS has a crap ton of patterns and a pretty good floss selection, but not like Acorns. So they have like a whole little area of Auvers soie, which when I went to my LNS, this was the only surfine that I could find, and at Acorns they had like a few drawers worth. So I got this one to match for my Reaching Skyward. I got Tudor silk for days. Where did I put these? I put these over here, I think. Oh, and of course, since whoever this is, the lady who dyes these, since she's local, like, there's a lot. And this is a limited edition. Oh, girl, we're not gonna do this. Winter Woods. Apricot Grove. Okay, I don't want to show them all like that, but I just got a few different ones. You could tell I was in this like fall looking mood, and dark and purples. That's what I was in. Fall mood. So there's some more Tudor silk for my collection. That's all the... Is that it? Oh, and this pattern. Tiny Modernist, the Portland pattern. And then I think it was that evening, Dylan went to, when we were at Acorns, my husband went to the Arboretum, the Japanese garden. So he got those stickers. I don't know where these are going. They're going somewhere. And we went to the cat store. We hung out with Nati's husband, Gil, and we went to, I think that was the day that Dylan wanted to do some practicing. So Nati, Gil, and I went to this cool store called Scrap. It was so cool. And they have like just anything that you can think of. Anything that you could want to buy that's like household but crafty, but like just random items. So they had like small wood containers, and I got this little guy. It's just a little spot in there. They had some cross stitch books, a little outdated. Oh, outdated. But they had floss, so I picked up some of these. This is a sulky 40 weight. I've never stitched with this, but I should. But I got these pretty pastels, and I thought of Dr. Christie because these are kind of older. And these are pretty thin. Would work on like a 40, maybe. Might be a little too thick for 40. And then a whole bunch of these little bags. And all this stuff was $5. It was just like 10 cents, 2 cents, 5 cents for that stuff. And they had like a barrel full of prescription bottles or old photographs. They had a haunted photograph section. It was really cool. They have lots of fabrics and stuff. That was called Scrap. And then the last day that we were there, we went to the Chinese garden, and I got these little cards. Wonderful day. Boba, it's cold outside. It's cute. And we went shopping at little shops, and I got some chocolate, and Nati and I got matching tiny books. It's just a little blank notebook. Oh, and I got this thing. This little stand-up bag that I put all my little fabric cutlets in. 45 minutes. That's about like my limit for a Flosstube. No wonder why I used to make ones that were like 10 minutes long. I was just like, get it over with. Get it done. I want to stitch. So yeah. I think that's all. My plans, Nati has a year-long prompt, monthly prompt, and February is full coverage February. So I will be participating in that. I need to pull out my my FOP piece, which I'll have to look at it and see how far I am. But I kind of want to finish this year. I need a full coverage finish, and this is my oldest full coverage whip, so I should do that. And probably some Black History Month stitching. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? If you want a tiny stitching kit, if you want to try some tiny stitching, my link tree is also below, and you can sign up. I'll just send it to you. And if you want to help me celebrate Susie, follow Susie on Instagram. And yeah, I never know what to say at the end. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep learning what you're learning. Don't be afraid to admit. Okay, never mind. Don't listen to my advice. Just learn some new stuff. And I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is. Okay? Okay. I think that's it. This is a picture of my cute kitty. Oh, and I forgot to say, something that was possibly a red flag is her beautiful, beautiful eyes. Look at how big her pupils are. And apparently that's a sign that maybe her kidneys weren't great, but it's just cute, right? So who could have complained about that? Love y'all. Bye.